Hello, guys. Today we're going to be talking about when friends become strangers. It's a really sensitive topic that I always wanted to talk about. And, I just think that you shouldn't be blaming anyone if you guys, broke apart or whatever. Everyone went their way, continuing their life. You know, Sometimes the hardest goodbye would be, isn't the one where someone else leaves, right? It's the one where, like, they slowly stop being the person you knew. You still have their number, you still have them photos, you still follow each other, right? But somehow there's something that feels different, right? You laugh less, you talk less, the silence gets louder every day, every single month, and one day you realize they just went on their life, right? Your best friend became a stranger, right? Not because of one fight or because of a betrayal. It's just because life happened, right? And at this point, you realize just how big, or just how our life really changes with time. I just want to talk about something almost nobody prepares us for. It's literally growing apart, right? You're never prepared to leave someone's side or something, because at some point when we were kids, right, we promised each other these I don't know, these dreams, or these false promises, I guess. Or we're always gonna be together, we're always gonna be we're gonna grow old, I'm gonna marry and you're gonna marry and we're gonna be neighbors, all these chats we've had, we'll never change on each other, we'll never leave each other. But life doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't ask anyone. People move out, people get other jobs, people get married and they, disconnect. People become parents, they get more busy, people become obsessed with money. um I don't know, other people become obsessed with themselves. People discover religion, others, lose it. Some change dreams, others give up. Everyone went on their way, little by little. The person sitting across from you starts becoming someone you've never met, right? You've always had this, you guys always had this, how do you even call it, I don't know. You guys always had this, connection, right? Not because they're bad. They didn't change because they're bad, right? They changed because I just think that they changed because they're becoming someone different, right? So are you. So pretty much something nobody, just sometimes nobody did something wrong, It's just that somebody I don't know how to explain this. Sometimes nobody did anything wrong, right? But it's just the hardest truth that you gotta accept, that nobody lied, nobody had a fight, nobody betrayed, nobody cheated, nobody was toxic between you guys. Life simply pushed you two apart, right? In different directions, in different, goals. One wants peace, the other wants parties. One wakes up at 6, the other sleeps at 6. One wants discipline, the other, wants comfort. I just think that, you know, um, neither is necessarily wrong, right? Everyone has their own choices and what they want. They're simply walking different roads, right? They're just walking a different road than it was before, Because sometimes love or friendship isn't enough, memories aren't enough. Because relationships, they don't survive on memories, they survive on shared values. If you guys share the same value, so just stop forcing people to stay is what I'm trying to say. One mistake many of us make is trying to hold on this old relationship, or hold on to people who are already leaving emotionally. We keep texting first, we keep asking first, we keep making plans, we keep carrying this friendship. It feels like the other person is just, it's just not doing anything. It feels like it's a job. you know Real friendship, shouldn't feel like you're begging the other side to talk to you or be with you. For what matters, that's probably the more painful thing ever. That's a painful truth that a lot of people can't accept until they end, or you just see them drifting away, and you can't convince them to say. And the kindest thing you probably can do is let them go, you know? I just think the loneliness growing apart is what scares people, you know, because losing a friend isn't just, you know, something that just happens. You know, it can hurt, you know, it can hurt as much as losing a relationship, like a loving relationship. Sometimes even more. A friend probably was, you know, the problems that you guys had, you know, the fights, the inside jokes. It's just the late night conversations that hit different, the random drives. I just a random go out, yo, let's go out, and all y'all go out, and it was like the best day ever, or just the best plan you've ever made. And then somehow your favorite memories became, you know, it just disappeared. You know, you're scrolling through your photos and you realize those moments belong to another version of your life, you know? That doesn't mean they were fake. It just means that life pushed you afar, or it means just it means that they belong to a different chapter in your life. I don't think every beautiful chapter is supposed to last forever, right? It's just the case. Just like games, you know? There's chapters where you're like, with this character in the next chapter, they kill it off, or, you know, I'm just trying to give an example here. Um, so I just think be grateful instead of being bitter about, you know, the old days or whatever. Instead of asking why did they leave, try asking what did they teach me? You know, what did we have here? Maybe they helped you survive and something else. Your hardest year. Maybe they gave you a good laugh. You know, they made you laugh when nobody else could back then. Maybe they helped you shape the person you are right now. Maybe because of them you got to here. You know, maybe you changed to this version of yourself because of them. They are the one who gave you the drive at the start to be like this. You know, some people aren't meant to stay forever. They're meant to prepare you for the next version of yourself. I just think that it's okay, and not every goodbye should be a failure, you know, because sometimes it's just simply life making room for you, who like for you, like what I'm trying to say is simply it's simply life making room for who you're gonna become, right? Or who you're becoming. So if you're watching this and you're grieving a friendship, you don't have to hate them. You don't have to erase every memory, right? You don't have to pretend they never would or they never mattered. I just want you to realize that people change, and it's just life changes, you know, it's just a part of growing. Some friends stay for life, and you know, I just think that some stay for a season. Both can be beautiful, right? The season person could be closer to you than a friend that stays for so long. But what I'm trying to say is, don't spend your whole life chasing who do they used to be. You know, maybe this friend just changed out of nowhere. Or like, don't spend your life trying to change someone. You know, or just trying to bring back the old person. You know, this guy was or that girl was. Instead, keep becoming like someone who your future friends will be grateful to meet. You know, they'd be happy to meet you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys liked it. You know, it's just talked about a little bit of how friends became strangers, and you know, why some people never text you first. You know, just the loneliest part of becoming another person. See y'all later. All love, guys.